Hello, I'm probably riding my bike. This weekend is a momentous weekend for our family. We'll be celebrating our baby's first 100 days. An important milestone for every child, but in Korea it's even more significant. A milestone that every family celebrates. Part of the reason it's so significant is because before modern medicine and before Korea was a more developed country, infant mortality was incredibly high. So the first few months were so dangerous. So people celebrate 100 days to give thanks, pray for continued health of their babies, and they feel like they're finally ready to introduce their babies to their community and relatives. We're inviting our family over for a celebration. There's a couple of things I need to prepare for that. And the natural way to do that is by bike, of course. What I need to pick up was about a 20-minute drive or a 40-minute bike ride. I know what I'd rather do. Take any chance I can get to ride my bike. A chance to get outside and ride through the city centre. The first 100 days has been amazing, but quite a challenge too. Apparently it gets easier after 100 days, but we'll see. It's been a roller coaster of emotions. Joy, being overwhelmed, pride, exhaustion, gratitude, frustration, love, guilt, doubt, helplessness, hope, wonder, loneliness, fear, anxiety, but mostly just love. A genuinely amazing experience, which I'm sure will just continue over years. The most challenging thing I've ever done, but the most rewarding too. I want to enjoy it as much as I can whilst I can, before they grow up. Everyone says how quickly it goes. I'm excited to get them on the bike when they're about a year old, but I'm not wishing the time away. I'll enjoy all the solo rides I can for now. Good time to reflect and reset. A lot of the first 100 days have been indoors. Most people here don't take their babies out into the world until they're 100 days old. I like to bring them out earlier, but the summer is far too hot and humid for a baby, so it's been early morning or late night walks. I kind of forgot that I lived in this huge, busy city. It almost feels strange to be out and about again. We've been in our little bubble and the world has kept on going around us. And the same problems persist, with cars parked in the bike lane. This driverless bus was just the beginning. I was kind of annoyed at that. And then I realised the rest of the bike lane was taken up by police bollards and police cars. Pretty annoying. Apart from that annoyance, I would recommend riding around the palace in this area near the Blue House. It's fairly quiet to ride, and it's the best way to see all the sights. You can just hire a Danangi or the city bikes and explore. And around the corner there's a hidden gem, a beautiful little garden full of mugunghwa flowers, which is the national flower of Korea. Rose of Sharon, I think, in English. They're extremely well watered. This Jeongja's a nice place to rest. We're almost at my destination, just one nice hill climb to get there. Being a bit less fit after 100 days, mostly indoors. It's amazing how quickly you lose your fitness. So it feels good to get a sweat on climbing up this hill. And the climb's worth it, because this neighbourhood's a lovely neighbourhood surrounded by the mountains, with restaurants and cafes and art galleries as well. This neighbourhood's Buamdong for those interested. Near the stairs from Parasite. We've made it to Songha. It's a plant workshop space run by my wife's friend. And I've come to pick up a couple of plants for our babies in their 100-day celebration. When I was younger, my grandma planted a tree for each. Me and my brother, we planted them together. And I still wonder how those trees are growing, because that family home is not our home anymore. My twin brother also planted some trees in the pots in their garden in London. We had a bit less space, so we're going for something a bit smaller for our apartment, but hopefully just as special, with the precious cargo in tow. Hopefully they will survive the journey back. I love doing errands by bike, but bringing delicate things like this can be a bit risky. So you're going to make sure it's wrapped up nicely and safe. I was anxious straight away that they might get ruined by the windy descent, and I'd arrive home with 2 plants with no leaves left. I decided to take it a little slower. Luckily they survived all the way home. They even survived the unexpected rainfall. Maybe they benefited from it. I got to the plant shop much faster than I expected, and I took the rainfall as an excuse to go to a cafe to shelter. I didn't even check the forecast before it came out, so this was quite unexpected. The cafe I want to go to is another 5-10 minute ride, so I better find somewhere to shelter before there. And in this neighbourhood, there's a few nice chongjas dotted around. This one's one of my favourites in Seoul at the end of this market. A lovely community space. Usually with a few grandmas hanging out. I waited in the rain for a while and eventually just gave up and decided to get wet anyway. And the cafe I wanted to go to was just around the corner. Unfortunately, it was too full. But in Seoul, you're never far away from another good cafe. So I just went around the corner to one I know already. And sometimes it's kind of fun to ride through the rain with the fresh rain smell. For any visitors coming to Seoul, and if they're going to Gyeongbokgung Palace, the main palace, I always recommend this cafe that I've showed you before. It's Oka Shore, and it has the best cardamom buns in Seoul. One of the first places I actually had a cardamom bun in Seoul, and now quite a few are doing it. They have very good coffee too, right by the exit of Gyeongbokgung station. This time they'd actually run out of cardamom buns, but I guess a cinnamon bun will suffice. It's a nice feeling being in a warm, dry place while it's raining heavily outside. A feeling I used to feel a lot in England. Not so much here. It doesn't rain nearly as much. I timed it well because the rain got extremely heavy after this. I waited it out for as long as I could. But I had to get home. So I braved the riding in this heavy rain. A bit less enjoyable than before. It'd be completely fine if I had my fended bike and a raincoat, but I had neither of those. Woefully underprepared. The worst thing about riding in the rain is just having sodden, wet shoes. In the summer I get past that by just riding in Crocs, but when it's Starts getting cooler. Crocs won't really do. Maybe I should purchase some Gore-Tex or waterproof shoes for riding in the rain. Any recommendations out there? I'm kind of tempted by some Gore-Tex Clarks. Some Wallabies or maybe Desert Trek. I wonder if they're any good for riding. Back the way I came, past the hydrangeas. Through some bike lanes. Some pedestrian paths. Some back streets. Enjoying the feeling and the life of the city. The plants survived intact from the wind and rain, ready for their final position on the 100 days table with the white rice cake symbolizing purity, health and protection. The red bean rice cakes to ward off bad luck. There's always some kind of fruit. We just got what's in season. I'm sure there's some significance to what we chose. Just a lovely backdrop to take some special photos in their traditional clothes, their hanbok. Enjoy wearing them so much, particularly when we tried to put hats on. But they looked incredibly cute. And it was a special time with family. And I quite enjoyed making coffee for 6. 4 iced coffees and 2 hot ones. I might have to invest in a bigger mocha pot. I think they go up to 18 cups, which is insane. I've absolutely loved the first 100 days of being a dad, and I can't wait for the next 100, thousands, tens of thousands, hopefully. Hope you've enjoyed watching this video. Like and subscribe if you want to see more. See you later.